Welcome back to the WAC podcast. My name is Spencer Cook, and I'm joined by the usual or unusual Meredith Paddock, and we're also joined by a very special guest from High Point University today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
It is I, and I am Nido Cobain, the president of High Point University, and the very proud leader of an institution where fine young men and women like these two make us look so good to the rest of the world.
Thank you so much for
What an introduction,
What
yeah.
an introduction.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Dr. Cobain. We're so happy to have you here. We're going to get things started. Before we do, as we normally do on the show, we
Absolutely.
want to thank our cast and crew.
Yeah.
We love you guys so much. We couldn't be doing this without you. So Dylan, who's directing, Natalie, who's singing, Ben, who's our stage manager, and everybody who's here helping us with the show. We love you guys, and we can't do this without you.
Absolutely. And today, we're not doing anything too crazy or anything like out of the ordinary. You're the president of High Point University. That's a 1 out of 1 position, right? There's only one president of High Point University. I think a lot of people see you as like a celebrity or like this huge high up figure, but you know, you're still a normal person just like the rest of us. And I feel like a lot of students don't get the chance to know you, and like they don't get a chance to get personal with Dr. Cobain and things like that.
Exactly.
And so we have a whole ton of questions that have been
Oh my
sent
goodness,
in.
I'm glad I came.
Yes,
We sent
yes.
out messages, or I
Yep.
reached out to a lot of friends and students, and we got 47 questions from students.
And we're not gonna like bombard you
We're
with
not
all
gonna
of
ask
them.
Do
all
I,
of
do, I
them, but
have, do I have to be honest in answering every one of the questions?
it's up to you.
Yeah?
It's up to you,
All
absolutely.
right, we don't have any fact checkers around here or anything
I don't
like
think
that.
so. No.
We actually do. We have a researcher, Grant Hines, so he can stand in as our fact checker. However, there are very unique, very silly, very fun questions that a lot of students would like to ask you and
Sure.
know about you. So Spencer, would you like to kick us off? Is there something that sticks out to you on
Absolutely.
the list?
I am a big fan. Food. I eat, 3 or 4 times a day, always. I don't skip a meal, obviously. But I wanted to know, where's your favorite place to eat outside of the university?
Outside the university, I like to eat in my own house. I mean, I go to some restaurants, but my own house, my wife is the best cook I know. And because we are of Lebanese descent, so we have very special edibles. And besides, in my own house, I have better wine than I can get in the restaurant. So I'll have a glass of wine
Okay.
after a long, stressful day
Yeah,
with people like the two of you. I go home and relax with some nice edibles in my house.
Nice. Very nice. Do you have a favorite meal at home?
Dishes
My wife has taught me that I should have a breakfast every morning. So every morning I have a little bit of strained cheese and a nice healthy piece of bread and a lot of fruits. And when I get up 3 o'clock in the morning, I actually make my own coffee.
Yeah.
And my own coffee is Turkish coffee. And you know it's Turkish coffee because when you drink it, you feel like you have a mustache growing on your face. Whether you're a man or a woman, you feel the mustache growing towards your hand.
Absolutely.
It's a strong coffee, so that's how I start my day, and it just gives me that kick that gets me going.
Yeah, wakes you up. I got you. Meredith, what are you thinking?
I am just looking through all of these questions, and there are just some that are just so silly and
It's
so
okay.
unique. But one question that a student asked is, kind of like we were talking, what do you do for regular holidays? I know that you love handing out candy bars for Halloween and also Valentine's Day. So what are some traditions that you and your family have for holidays?
Well, it depends what holiday we're talking about. If it's summertime, so for many, many years, I was in business for myself, right? I have my own companies. And I would take 45 days in the summer, and I would take my family somewhere around the world. So, for example, one summer, I took all my family literally around the world in 43 days. But typically we would go to Europe and spend some time. I always thought of that as investing in memories. Very important to invest in memories. And as my children grew up, they became more globally oriented, and they had great memories. If, on the other hand, we're talking about Easter, for example, not just the other day, then we will go to the beach. We have a home right on the ocean. And I love that place. And so we go down the beach, and all my kids come, and I have 5 little grandkids, and they'll come too. And then I walk on the beach. I walk on the beach, I talk to God, and I talk out loud, and I have just a great time. This is a home on a private island. I mean, there are other houses, but it's a private island, so the beach is usually nobody there. I could walk 3, 4, 5 miles, and maybe I'll pass 5 or 6 people. So I'm a people person. I like to be with people all the time, and that's why occasionally I like to be deserted, just by myself.
It's good to recharge your social battery every once in a while. Yeah, take a
And
break.
at Christmas, that's another holiday, we have lots of gifts in our house, and my wife decorates the whole house like crazy, and I get all these gifts, from my wife and my children, and then about 2 months later, the credit card bills come, and I have to pay all those.
There you go. There you go. There it is.
So life is unfair.
Yeah. Kind of following off of, you're talking about, loving to go to the beach and stuff. Somebody asked, wanted to know, do you prefer, a vacation to the beaches or the mountains?
I love them both.
Really?
So,
Okay.
so when I was in college, and then 2-3 years post-college, I actually ran summer camps.
Okay.
And so in the summer, I would run, for example, the program at a camp called Camp Cheerio, which is owned by High Point YMCA.
I went to
Look-
Camp Cheerio
you did?
as a middle schooler.
Yes, I remember you. You're the one who would not put the lights out on time. So anyway, I fell in love with the mountains. I mean, there's nothing like being on top of a mountain the first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee, looking over the spacious creation that God gave all of us. But also have great appreciation for the beach. Not so much to swim, but to walk on the beach, sit on the deck, and just watch these waves come through. And at this beach, lots of dolphins. So I watch the dolphins just jumping up in the air. And then, I can tell you a secret. I don't want all the viewers to know this, so I'll lower my voice. I also have a boat. So then I can go out on the intercoastal in my boat and, just drive around and act like I'm special.
We have
pretty
to
cool.
make ourselves believe that every day.
Yes, that's exactly. It keeps us out of therapy. It's a good thing.
sure,
Of course,
yeah.
of course. My mom actually just called Spencer and I before we got started with the podcast to wish us luck, and she adores you. And I'm gonna give my mom a little shout out here. Her name is Marcia, but
Hi, Marcia.
She wants to know. She wants to know that every time she's heard you speak, you are just so radiating with positivity and just motivational. She says that every time she came to an open house when I was in high school, she felt on top of the world, like she could just do everything. What do you do? Is there specific things that you do on days where maybe you don't feel well, or you feel a little bit down more than usual, or anything along those lines, that if you're stressed or anything like that, is there something you do to help radiate that positivity?
Yes. So, every person I know has good days and not so good days, because we are the byproduct of all the events and patterns and trends that happen around us. There are days when the sun shines and life is beautiful, and there are days when it's rainy and cloudy and tornadoes and all the rest, right? That's the essence of life. That's what makes life so challenging, so meaningful, so special. If every day were perfect, then we wouldn't appreciate it, because we wouldn't have a contrast of a good day, bad day. It's sort of like if you're healthy every day, you don't realize that that's not necessarily normal. That what you've got to do once in a while is to understand that when you have a cold, you remember the day when you didn't have a cold and you felt really, really well. The question is, what do I do? Well, first of all, I get up in the morning, I put my feet on the ground, and I thank God for the one gift that I have in my life, that you have in your life, that you paid nothing for. It's called oxygen. Oxygen. Paid nothing for oxygen. And yet oxygen is the very fiber and fabric that keeps us going. So I inject my mind and my heart and my soul with positive thoughts. I believe in the art of the possible. I believe there are no such thing as unrealistic dreams, only unrealistic timelines. And in my life, I had to overcome a lot of challenges and a lot of conflict. And I grew up poor, so I understood what it meant to be insecure about whether you have enough money to buy food, or whether you have enough money to pay for college, or do any of those things. And I've never forgotten those days. And so the moment I feel a little pity for myself, I allow myself a few moments of, let's feel pity, let's feel you're a loser, Nito, the whole world hates you. But then within 5 or 10 minutes, I'll take a pad and a pencil, and I'll write down all the blessings in my life. And all of a sudden, I'm running out of paper, right? So, for example, my work at Hype University is the finest, best thing I've ever done in my life. I was in business, I was very successful, I spoke on all the platforms of the world for many years. I had literally millions of fans who bought my books and my CDs and so on. But no work has come anywhere close to the significance of this work because of guys like you and those who are watching us today, all of you, and because here, my work is all about planting seeds of greatness in the hearts, minds, and souls of our students. So yesterday, an alum called me. She graduated in '09. In '09, I'd just been here 4 years. We didn't have all the facilities in '09 that we have today. And she just wanted to thank me. She said, you know, the longer I live, the more I realize that all the stuff you taught us was so valuable. This is just like my own children. My own children did not appreciate all the lessons I gave them till they grew older. And then they go, Dad, I never knew how valuable that is. Now that I had to deal with my boss, now I understand the value of the lesson, right? And so I motivate myself. I tell myself that if you're feeling down, you got a CD in the car, and you've got to push, you can push that button. Push the button, you know what happens? Great day, and bam! all the troubles of the world are forgotten. Now, nobody knows what we just talked about unless they took my class, then they understand that
Spencer,
little secret.
You're gonna have to insert
The Great Day.
the Great Day music
Of
video.
course.
that
Yes.
Dr. Cobain
It'll be
played
right
in
over
front
us
Yes.
as we're talking right now.
of us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great Day. Is that I didn't think that was how that question was going to end with the Great Day.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Well, you have a lot of things that you enjoy and that things that give you joy and positivity. I wanted to ask, do you have something that gives you like an ick, like a pet peeve, something you don't like?
Oh, yes, yes. I don't like people eating gum around me.
Really?
I don't mind gum. But one time I sat in an airplane overnight from North Carolina to London, and there was a person behind me who chewed gum the whole way. Now, I never considered suicide in my life, but for a moment, I thought if that window opened up, I was going to parachute right into the Atlantic.
Or just throw them out the window.
And this person didn't realize the sound they're making because, you know, they had this thing on and they're watching a movie and, you know, they're clicking, clacking the whole way. So I have, you know, a certain degree of hatred towards people eating gum around.
Gum, yeah.
I don't like people who drive with a degree of hatred towards humanity. One time I was driving and I came out and I was at fault and I came out of this little, you know, side road and I came in and I guess I was on the phone. That's before we had these iPhones, so I had a little phone in the car. You know, we had literally like land phones sitting in the car. But
Yeah, and like the console. Yeah.
yeah, and so I was talking on it, and I guess the guy behind me, I went a little slower, and he went berserk. And I came to the stoplight, and this guy came out of his car, running to my car, to the window of my car, and I thought he was going to kill me. So I thought, I'll do the best thing I can. I picked up the phone and acted like I'm talking to the police, and I used this language. There is someone here about to kill me. Come quickly. He is about 6 feet high. He has brown eyes, and I guess the guy could read my thing, and so, you know, I
Left you
and
alone.
left. So I don't like people who get so excited about nothing, and you know, give you the middle finger because you know you haven't done anything. So I never give them the middle finger back. I give them a whole hand back, which is the Italian way of saying I love you too.
See, I can't. I get kind of upset on the road sometimes. I'm really bad about that.
So you were the guy.
Yeah,
You
that
were
was
the
me. I'm
guy.
sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was in
You
my
were
big
the
truck.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We got this question asked by our good friend Allie. She helps us here at the podcast. She can't be here tonight. When you eat tacos, imagine you have a beautiful hard shell taco.
Yes, yes.
You know? Do you tilt the taco to eat it, or do you tilt your head to eat the taco?
No. I actually get a straw and suck the meat out of the taco, and then I like to eat the shell by itself.
There you go. Oh my
Gosh, I never thought of that question. Allie, you are a genius. Let me think, what do I do when I eat a taco? I think, first of all, I eat 6 tacos. That's my regularly.
Taco Tuesday at Farmers.
Wow.
Oh, do they really?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Amazing.
I'm not sure I had a taco at Farmers. So I eat 6 tacos. 'Cause I love the shell and all that. And I pick it up and I do like this. Is this tilting? I guess this is a form of tilting, right? Because typically it drips all over my pants and shirts, and I have a kaleidoscope clothing section in my.
I'm
in
more
my,
of a like a head tilter as well.
I see.
You gotta,
Yeah. Yeah, Allie asked questions about life and living.
We got.
that I
Yeah, I
never
know.
thought of.
Those are very deep.
We got some more.
Very crazy.
Okay.
Of course. Is there another one you want to ask?
Honestly, you can keep going with them. I like these quirky questions we're going off of.
Asked by my friend Emily, do you believe that a hot dog is a sandwich?
I believe that a hot dog is the byproduct of a piece of creation that emanates from a hog. And if eaten alone, it is merely an object that you enter in a 90-degree angle with your mouth. However, should you wish to make a meal out of it, then you seek something else that's made of the goodness of the harvest of the land, which ends up being bread. And should you put the hot dog inside the bread and put some, I like to put some onions on it and some chili and stuff, then it becomes a sandwich. Emily, there
So
you
it's a
have it.
sandwich.
It is a sandwich.
Wow. The
Dr.
end-all, be-all
Cobain
question has been
can
answered.
confirm, debunked.
And I am the president. If I say it's a sandwich, it's a sandwich.
Yes, sir.
That's what goes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh my
I
goodness.
can keep going. This question was asked by one of my best friends, Brett.
How many friends do you have, for heaven's sake?
couple, a
Meredith,
couple.
I have 1. You've already named 3.
We've got a lot.
Okay, so,
He wants to know, do you prefer Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb?
oh, no, I'm clear on that. I have great clarity in my life about many things, including the soft drinks that I occasionally will devour. So I like a diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I work at Chick-fil-A and we're always making Diet Dr. Peppers.
that's what I like. And
I guess,
Chick-fil-A,
all
by
right.
the way, the founder of Chick-fil-A was a very good friend of mine.
Truett Cathy?
Truett Cathy.
Oh.
Very good friend of mine. In fact, since you're such a wonderful host, I will give you a gift if Chick-fil-A is important to you. And the gift is Truett Cathy, who became a multi-billionaire out of starting one. I spoke for the company 2-3 times.
Really?
And Truett Cathy gave me 1,000 gift cards to Chick-fil-A. I think it's like a chicken sandwich. Never actually used the card at a Chick-fil-A. And it's signed Truett Cathy. So now that he passed away, this is a collector's item.
That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
tell you this story to suggest that I am an important person and I have important friends.
That is insane. His
What should I tell him? Do I work at like BB&T
Wendy's
Bank
or something. Yeah, sure.
I'm on the board of BB&T Bank. Yes.
That's crazy. Truett's granddaughter is actually stopping by my store in a couple weeks. I'm giving her a tour of
Really?
everything. Yeah.
So if she's the granddaughter, she would either be Bubba's daughter or Dan's daughter.
I think it's Dan's daughter.
Dan. Okay, so
Cathy's
Dan is the
daughter, yeah.
CEO, and Dan came to Hyper University and brought the executive team of Truett Cathy of Chick-fil-A to see how a really extraordinary university is being innovative and creative.
That's super cool. I didn't know you knew Truett Cathy. What a small world, you know?
Wow, amazing. Spencer, you're just one lucky guy.
I really am. Yeah. And now I get an autographed piece of memorabilia.
Yes,
That's
yes,
crazy.
there you have it.
So my friend Jack wants to know. This is completely away from food. How do you keep your hair so crisp and beautiful?
Oh, okay. Is it on straight right now, or should I?
Can we get a close up?
Let's get a good one.
Is it on
Oh
straight?
yeah. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so straight, yes.
Yeah.
So this is all my hair, and when my kids were little, they loved in the evening. They loved to just come in and mess it up. I mean, like really mess it up. So if you mess it up, I have a lot of hair, and I'll prove it to you. When I'm at the beach in the summertime, and I'm at the pool sometimes, some of my friends will not even recognize me because I have all this, hair going everywhere. But I take a shower every morning, and then I take a little bit of gel, and I do this in the gel, I put it in my hair, and then I comb my hair, and I've combed my hair like this forever and ever. And
it's always been the same.
it is not the kind of hair that is created for a woman to run her hand through it, because then she'll mess it up. So it is intended to be looked at and appreciated for the gumminess that's within it.
Good. That's good.
Oh my gosh.
Meredith,
that's
would you like to ask another one?
Yes. This question was asked by Rebecca. If you have one, what is your go-to midnight snack? And do you have a specific pair of pajamas you like to wear when you go?
Okay, so I don't have any midnight snacks because I go to bed at 9 p.m. and I wake up at 3 a.m. So no midnight snacks. However, up till 8:59 every night, this guy is. Yes, yes. I am a very good friend with food, and I like sweets, so I'll eat all kinds of stuff. Now, the second question was about my pajamas. In the summertime, I go to bed with shorts, like shorts that you would wear on the street.
Yeah.
So I would wear shorts like on the beach or whatever, and when I sleep at night, I have a t-shirt and shorts, no pajamas. In the wintertime, I have pajamas, several sets of pajamas. And most of them were given to me by my wife. Like, for example, I have a Christmas pajamas, all red and stuff. I have Valentine's pajamas. And, but I'll tell you a story. When I came to America and learned the English language and all that, I went in a store one time. Let's see, it's that camera. I went in a store, and I wanted to buy a pair of pajamas. And I picked a pair of pajamas out of the shelf. And I looked at the label. This is a true story. I looked at the label on the back of the collar. And the label on the back of the collar said, "These pajamas are shrink resistant." I mean, what does that mean? Think of it. You're learning the English language, and these pajamas are shrink resistant. I mean, they either shrink or they don't shrink.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went to this lady, the cashier, and I said, "I don't understand what it means, these pajamas are shrink resistant. I mean, either shrink or they don't shrink." And she said, "Well, that means these pajamas will shrink, but they don't want to." So that's my story about pajamas, see?
Do you and your wife have like matching pajama sets?
If not, I know what I'm getting you. For
We have been married for a long time. We don't know what we wear or don't wear at night.
Don't keep up with it?
And
That's funny.
no, we don't have. No, I give my wife every Valentine's Day a pair of pajamas.
That's kind of cute.
Yes, I do, and I send her a dozen roses, or more often than not, 2 dozen roses. Yes, I do. I've been married a long time to the same woman. I'm happily married. I give her a lot of credit for being a wonderful mom and a wonderful partner to me. And she's a great volunteer on this campus. She does so much work. She was here today and doesn't get paid for it. She just does it because of the love of nature. All the gardens and the conservatory was her idea, and all the decor. The interior design in this building, for example, was done by my wife and her friends, every bit of it. Every bit of furniture that you see here, every rug that you see here, we actually didn't pay for it. We actually got friends and companies to give it to us. Every Oriental rug you see at Hyper University, we have hundreds of them, were given to us. Every piece of painting that you see was given to us. All the beautiful furniture was given to us. So that's...
Is your wife, is that a hobby for her, interior design, or is she an interior designer?
No,
or
she's
how
not
does
an
she
interior
just-
designer, but that's a hobby, and she has friends who are interior designers, and she loves the university, and we wanted to build a gorgeous place, and so...
And you did, obviously.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest reasons I came here. The campus was so nice.
So beautiful,
Like the
yes.
promenade.
Yes, so beautiful.
Hypnotizing. I love it.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Is there anything else you would like to ask?
If you want
I
to
know
ask,
that
I know
we're-
your dad wanted a question of his to
Yes.
be asked. If you want to ask
My
that.
dad,
No.
as well, loves. This was actually one of his ideas back in last semester when we started up the podcast to have him as a guest.
Clearly your dad is very intelligent.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
He's great. One of the questions that he wanted to ask was that you have interviewed so many big name people
Yes.
that have come to campus, such as Mark Randolph, Steve Wozniak, things along those lines. Is there somebody specifically that you want to interview to come to campus in the next year or so?
Okay, so yes, we have scheduled over the next 6 months for me to interview 26 people, because I have my own show on PBS North Carolina starting in September, and it's going to be a 30-minute interview show, and so we're getting some really fabulous people to interview. But the person I would like to have interviewed the best, and I'm an impromptu guy, so I prepare, but I prefer not to know what I'm going to ask exactly. I do just a little homework on the person, and then I just chat with them. And I always think about the viewer at home, sitting by himself or herself, watching us, and wondering what is it they'd like to know about this person. The person I would love to have interviewed, but obviously couldn't, is Mother Teresa. Because I've always been fascinated by how a simple nun like Mother Teresa could create such enormous impact in the world. You know, if you ask someone, an entrepreneur, what is your definition of success? They'll say, well, success is about amassing a lot of money. If you asked Hank Aaron, what is your definition of success? He might say, it's beating the record of Babe Ruth. If you could have asked Ted Turner, the guy who founded CNN, what is your definition of success? He'll say, building a media empire. If you could have asked Mother Teresa, what is your definition of your success? I think she would have said, it's feeding the hungry in the back alleys of Calcutta and clothing the poor in every corner of every city, on every continent in our world. You want to talk about impact. Mother Teresa had enormous impact. And so I would love to have asked a few questions. You know, how did she do it? You know, why didn't she give up? What did people think of her work? And what happened to some of these poor people that she truly cared about and helped?
That's so amazing.
Now,
That's
your
such a great answer.
dad's probably asking more about contemporary people. I interviewed Condoleezza Rice, I interviewed Colin Powell, I interviewed tons of them. Probably my all-time favorite would be Colin Powell, because he was very easy to interview. Like Steve Wozniak, I love Woz, but Woz, I'd ask him a simple question, he goes on 22 minutes, and the show is only 55 minutes, so that, you know. But Colin Powell gave me an answer like that, you know. I remember asking him a question about being a minority American, an African American, at a time when there was enormous segregation in the South. He was driving with his wife from Washington, D.C. down to Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I said, tell me a story about, you know, segregation. Condoleezza Rice was fascinating about that, how she grew up in segregated Birmingham, Alabama, in the worst of times. She was a very poor girl. She went on to become a classical pianist, a Secretary of State, the youngest woman, the only African-American to ever become provost of Stanford University. I mean, this is a person you want to talk with. How do you do that, you know? And so Colin Powell said, well, let me tell you something. When you go from Washington, D.C. to Fayetteville, there's no place for you to stop and use the bathroom. You couldn't use a bathroom unless you couldn't go into a white, you know, place. I mean, that's something I never thought about.
Oh, wow.
Right? I never thought about that. And so he would explain to me how they got hungry. They had to really prepare in advance where they could stop to buy food and so on. And to listen to that man say that, and then to see him grow to such a position of authority and impact, this is a turning point, you know, when I meet someone like that and listen to them. So he would be my all-time. We became best of friends, he and I, and we did a lot of things together. I'm in an organization called Horatio Alger Association for Distinguished Americans. So many of the people I bring here happen to be members of that. So the founder, true with Kathy, that's how I met him. The founder of Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks. That's how I met him. Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, I brought here. I met him. And maybe you have a question there about how I met Clarence Thomas. I'll answer it if one of your many friends
Well,
asks
yeah,
it.
one of my friends happened to ask.
I
How
think
did
so.
you meet?
I'm
How did you meet
from
Mr.
Chick-fil-A.
Thomas?
I'm glad so you asked. I'm glad you asked. So here's how I met Clarence Thomas. This is Supreme Court Justice we're talking about. So I am at Horatio Alger. We have lunch every year in our conference at the State Department, the United States State Department. This is where kings and queens and so on gather. Incredible building, incredible. It's palatial. So I go to the bathroom, and this is for real. I am standing in the bathroom at the urinal. You understand what I said?
Yes.
You have to look that up,
No, yeah.
Google it. So I'm standing at the urinal. I look to my right. There stood Clarence Thomas. I wanted to say, Justice Thomas, nice to meet you. But then I realized we're at the urinal.
Urinal, yeah.
And so I said, Justice Thomas, it's nice to meet you. And he said, well, I know you are. You're president of Hype University. I said, yes, sir. And I said, I want you to come and speak at the university. What do I have to do to get you there? He said, well, just ask. And I said, as I was zipping my pants, I said, Justice Thomas, I'm asking you to come and speak at High Point University. And he said, yes.
Wow.
And that's how he came down and spoke. And he stayed here all day, talked to students. In Slane Center, they stood all the way around, the track, and they talked to them. One of the most loveliest people, regardless of politics. Politics messes us up. Yeah. Because we start painting everything through a political prism. But let's just look at someone's heart and someone's soul and understand the person. You will find that you love every person for one or more reasons, right? And so I'm glad you asked me how I met Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy that somebody had asked that question. It's
God works in
coincidence.
mysterious ways.
He really does, yeah. But we are getting close to the end of our time. Do you want to play the 5-second game before we go?
Absolutely.
So Meredith, you want to explain that? Because
I
I'm not
will.
very good at
It's
explaining
a fun
it.
game. So basically, in under 5 seconds, we are going to ask you to name 3 things of a different category.
Okay.
So these are just a couple of questions that people also recommended as well. Name your top 3 favorite buildings on campus.
Oh, 5 seconds. Slane, Wanek, because the two are student centers, and the new arena. 6.5 seconds.
Boom. Not too
Amazing.
bad, not too
Amazing.
bad. Name the top 3 people that you text and call throughout the day.
My son, my wife, and the business office in High Point.
Okay, good.
Amazing,
Meredith, go.
amazing. Name your top 3 favorite books of all time.
Books?
Books.
Books of all time. Zig Ziglar, Make It All the Way to the Top. John Maxwell, Leadership Principles, and the Bible.
Very nice. You are coming in clutch with these. I like it.
I am the president. What are
I
you
know.
talking about?
I'm not trying to underestimate you. Name your favorite 3 current TV shows.
I should tell you, I only watch TV 10 minutes a day. Oh. So I pass on that one.
So
All right,
shows,
that's
they
totally
don't.
fine. Do you have your top 3 favorite actors or actresses?
I pass on that one. I don't watch, but I
I can understand.
Of course.
3 European countries that you like the most.
Okay, Italy, France, and Greece.
That was really quick. Holy cow.
Wow.
So how did you just pull those out so quick?
I'm just intelligent. That's all.
You just know what you want. I understand.
That's exactly what it's about.
Very nice. And lastly, name your top 3 favorite snacks.
Popcorn, potato chips, and peanuts.
Yes, sir. A man of good
Amazing.
taste.
A
I
man
like it.
of good taste.
Anything else you want to ask, Ms. Haddock?
I think there are some more questions we didn't get a chance. Some students would like to know if you're willing to adopt them.
Absolutely, as long as you bring the checkbook with you, because I know how much you eat and how many showers you take in
I
a
will
week.
be one of them. Let me know. Let me get a budget by the end of the
But
month.
I have already adopted everybody.
That's true. We
I've
are
adopted all of
here
you.
at your
I
university.
love you all equally.
Of course. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Cobain, for
Thank
being
you.
here. We appreciate it so very much. As far as our viewers for the WAC podcast, if this is your first time viewing, thank you so much for tuning in. We are so happy to have you here. Please make sure and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Keep watching all of our episodes. We love all the support of us. anything else you want to add? If not,
No,
we'll close it out.
this has been a pretty awesome episode.
This
so
has been great.
I have enjoyed
we
it quite a
appreciate
bit.
it so much, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.